Hello everyone, this is Praveen from BizMeans channel. So in today's video we are gonna see about like what are all the plans or what are all the things we need to do for studying in abroad. So before going into this video, those who are not yet subscribed our YouTube channel, please subscribe our YouTube channel by just clicking the subscribe icon. So basically for studying in abroad, we need to concentrate more and more on certain things. So first one is your competitive exams, and second one is your SOPs and LOR, and third one is your fundings like education loans and transcripts and other documents, etc. So if you are a second year student or if you are a third year student, then I'll be explaining what are all the plans and what are the orders should be followed for studying in abroad. Later I'll be coming for final year students. So first of all, if you are a second year or third year student, means you need to like shortlist or you need to analyze the university list and the country, because before analyzing the university's list or before shortlisting the university, if you are just giving your GRE exam means, or even your IELTS exam or some other like GMAT exam means, you need to send your score reports to 4 universities with free of cost, right? So if you are not ready with your university list, then how can you use that free of cost opportunity for sending your score reports? You're getting my point? So my suggestion is, first shortlist the universities, right? Then sit and plan what is the required GRE score or what is the required IELTS band for getting into the for getting into admit or for getting into that university, right? So then you plan or schedule your preparation, then get the required score and go accordingly. So now coming into the planning session, like how you need to plan for those things. If you are planning for fall, then you need to apply to the universities within the deadline, which will be coming under the month of September and October and November and December. So most of the US universities will be having a deadlines in these months, and top universities and all. So if you are planning for that, means you need to first analyze or shortlist the universities where you want to go. Then according to the universities, you check what is the required GRE score and IELTS band and even TOEFL score what you need to get, so that you need to complete your preparation of your competitive exams within 3 or 4 months. Then give your GRE exam and apply or send your score reports to 4 universities in that opportunity. Then coming back to your SOPs. So what is SOP, right? So SOP is the major thing which will play a important role in your admit process. So it is the thing which will say about you to the university person, and it will be communicating between you and your university person, because university person can't meet you in person for each and every things, right? So SOP should be in the way why the university needs to give admit to you, and even how your profile is satisfying their requirements, right? Because in our point of view, we are the one and only student who is applying to the university, but in the university's point of view, we are just one among lakhs, right? So how our profile stands unique, it will be stated by SOP. So after completing your exams, you need to start your SOPs, or simultaneously also you can prepare for your SOPs, right? So after completing your SOPs, you can get your LOR signed from your professors. If you are a working employee, you can get one LOR from your TL or even your manager, and compulsory you have to get your one LOR from your professors. So coming back to your SOP, we can't provide single SOP or same SOP to different universities. For example, if you are a student who will be applying to some 8 or 9 universities or even 2 to 3 universities, you can't provide them a same SOPs. It should be different, because each and every university will be requiring different SOP formats, right? So you have to know what format the university requires and what is the eligibility criteria for applying into that university. So mention all those things in your SOP. Your SOP should be in a unique way. So plagiarism will be there. If you are copying someone's SOP means it will be getting rejection. So avoid those things and write a fantastic perfect SOP. Then coming back to your LOR, you can provide same LOR to all the universities, that is not a problem. So LOR is letters of recommendations, right? So you have to get some universities will be requiring 2 LORs, some will be requiring 3 LORs. So if 3 means, get 2 from your professors and 1 from your team leader or even your manager, right? And many of you will be having this doubt. For example, if you are scoring less mark, will that affect our admit or not? Absolutely, it won't be affecting your admits if your GRE mark or even your IELTS band is decent or good. For example, I'll be saying one scenario. For example, University of Boston, its eligibility criteria is 297 or more than 300, means if you have been scored only 289 or even 295, then you don't need to be worried about those things. You can concentrate on your SOP to compensate those things, right? Because than GRE, SOP plays a major role, and even your deadlines plays a major role. So apply to the universities within the deadlines. If you are prior, then exactly you will be giving prioritized. So after completing your GRE, you will be completing your SOPs and LORs and everything, right? So then if you are planning to do some management courses, means you need to write a personal essay to the university. It will be applicable for specific universities. So after completing those things, just start applying to the universities within the deadlines in the university application website and everything, in the web portals, application portals, everything, right? So it will be opened in a particular date for specific universities. It depends upon the universities as well. So you just see to it and just start applying to the universities. And also the major thing is in this time, actually in this like corona time, we are having plenty of time to do research about the university list and country and everything, right? This problem is gonna solve soon. So after this problem, everyone will be like recruiting students, and admission process will be going on. So you start your work as soon as possible, and you concentrate more and more on the SOP and your competitive exams, everything, right? So if you are scoring a great mark in your competitive exam, then you don't need to be worried about anything. You can just focus on your SOPs and you can focus on your LORs, everything, because there will be a huge option for you to get even scholarships, right? So scholarship in the sense, we can't say, for example, if you are getting a good score, you will be getting scholarship for sure. That is not the case here. So scholarship will be decided by the university person, because for example, if you are a person who got some 326 mark in GRE, one will be getting 320. So there might be chances the 320, that person will be getting a scholarship and you might not be getting the scholarship. So everything will be depending upon your profile, and it will be decided by the university person, right? And there won't be any short admits for any top universities, because everything will be decided by seeing your profiles and even your resume, and when you are applying to the universities, and how much mark you have been scored in your competitive exams, how good is your SOP, everything they will be seeing, and then they will be giving you a mail like I-20 form or a confirmation mail you will be receiving from the university directly, stating that you have been confirmed or your applications has been approved by the university's person, which means you have got admit from that university. So with that I-20 form, you can start your visa process. Like you need to appear for the visa interview, you need to fill that DV-160 forms and everything. Then you'll be receiving your visa, and after that you need to look for your funding. Funding in the sense, it can be self-funding or even education loan. If you want to get education loan, you can like approach bank, and if you are having your father as a sponsor or your parents as a sponsor, means you can go ahead with that. No issues in that. So here is the major problem is gonna start. So if you are a student who had scored a great mark in GRE and even having 8.5 or even 8 band in IELTS, but you are having some history of arrears, you had some history of arrears like 13 arrears, means you can't go for even Canada and for Germany, because there are some countries which will be seeing this history of arrears, right? And also you can't go to abroad for studying if you are having a live backlogs, right? So you need to clear all those backlogs, and your history of arrears should be less than some 6 or 7. Then only you can easily get your visa approved, and then you can go abroad for studying, right? So my suggestion is just shortlist the universities according to the universities. Schedule your preparation, get your scores, prepare your SOPs, prepare your LORs, and even your transcripts, everything. So first thing is your admission process, right? So concentrate more and more on that. If you have any doubts, I'll give my email ID in my description. You can just send a mail to me. I'll contact you. So if you want to know any further information for any specific universities or specific countries also, you can approach me. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. All the best for your career.